Our story begins with Clean, a regular garbage man working in a neighborhood ruled by dangerous gangsters. But Clean is more than meets the eye. After his exhausting shifts, he embarks on a secret mission, scavenging discarded treasures that he cleverly sells to a thrift shop owned by someone he trusts. However, behind Clean's rugged appearance lies a world of pain and regret. His life took a tragic turn when he went through a bitter divorce and lost his daughter to a devastating illness. Overwhelmed by guilt, Clean seeks redemption by becoming a guiding figure for his young neighbor, Dianda, who is an orphan living with her grandmother and carrying her own burdens. Meanwhile, in another part of town, a man named Michael eagerly awaits his son Mikey's release from prison. However, Mikey chooses to follow his friends instead of his father. Though disappointed, Michael decides to let it go and allows his son to find his own path. As night falls, Clean goes about his nightly routine of collecting trash. Fate has something unexpected in store for him. In the dimly lit streets, he comes across Michael and his associates engaged in suspicious activities outside his restaurant, armed with concealed weapons. Despite the adrenaline rushing through his veins, Clean resists the urge to intervene and continues with his work. Little does Clean know, these eerie events are mere glimpses into a dangerous underworld. Michael's seemingly legitimate establishment hides a sinister secret, a complex operation of smuggling drugs from China. The drugs are cleverly hidden within fish, meticulously blended to deceive law enforcement and sold in the market. On that particular night, Michael was visibly annoyed because the package sent by the seller in China didn't follow the agreed-upon terms. This left him feeling confused and frustrated. The next morning, Clean came across Dianda walking to school on foot. Dianda explained that the school bus no longer came to their area, and her grandmother's car had broken down, so she had to walk. Showing kindness, Clean offered to give Dianda a ride to school. He also surprised her by giving her a used bicycle that had belonged to his late daughter, placing it quietly in front of her house. However, Ethel, Dianda's grandmother, discovered Clean's actions and left the house upset. She questioned why Clean was so concerned about her granddaughter's well-being. Clean simply explained that it was his way of easing the guilt he felt inside. In response, Ethel recognized Clean as a genuinely kind person. Meanwhile, Michael was caught up in a drug trade. Once again, he became frustrated when the packages from China didn't meet the agreed-upon terms. Unable to control his anger, he mercilessly attacked the courier until the man was lifeless and covered in blood. Mikey, witnessing his father's brutal actions, stood frozen in horror. Michael not only commanded respect as a leader among gangsters, but also had significant influence in the area. This made him unafraid to commit murder openly, even during daylight. That night, as Clean was getting ready to collect garbage from the dumpster behind Michael's restaurant, he was startled by a strong smell and fresh blood splatters. Driven by curiosity, Clean felt compelled to find out where the foul smell was coming from. But then, Michael suddenly appeared right behind Clean. He asked Clean to clean up the mess that was made earlier that afternoon. However, Clean said no and decided not to get involved with Michael. He went back to his job of collecting trash. One day, while Clean was going to work, his car broke down in the middle of the road. Soon after, he saw a man being chased by a group of bad guys. The bad guys caught the man and trapped him in a narrow alley. Clean tried to help, but one of the bad guys came from behind and hit Clean on the head, making him pass out. When Clean woke up later, he found himself in the hospital. The doctor told him that his head injury was serious, and he was lucky to be alive. The doctor recommended follow-up care and gave him medicine, but Clean refused and decided to go straight home. On his way home, Clean met Dianda, who was hanging out with some troublemakers in the area. Worried about Dianda's safety, Clean told her to go home right away. But Dianda said that Clean couldn't tell her what to do because he wasn't her dad. Then the troublemakers kicked Clean out forcefully. Even though she didn't want to at first, Dianda eventually listened to Clean and left the troublemakers. Meanwhile, Michael and his son got into a big argument during dinner. Michael was angry because Mikey cared more about having fun with friends than helping him with the drug business. The argument got so heated that Mikey threatened his dad with a knife if he kept insulting his friends. That night, Mikey decided to run away from home. Meanwhile, Clean discovered Dianda's bicycle parked in front of an abandoned house where young troublemakers hung out. Inside, Clean witnessed the distressing scene of Dianda being forced to take drugs and alcohol while being harassed by the delinquents. To make matters worse, the delinquents were recording these acts of cruelty, planning to share them with others. Without wasting a moment, Clean bravely defended Dianda by attacking the thugs with an iron pipe. It was only after subduing them that Clean realized one of the injured troublemakers was Mikey, Michael's son. Acting quickly, Clean rescued Dianda from the dangerous situation before the police or Michael could intervene. Mikey had to stay in the hospital for several days due to his severe injuries. The doctor informed Michael that while Mikey's body would eventually recover, his face would be permanently damaged and require plastic surgery. Additionally, Mikey's ability to speak normally was affected by damage to his vocal cords. The doctor strongly advised Michael to schedule the surgery promptly to avoid further complications in Mikey's organs. However, Michael showed little concern for his son's well-being and chose to let him suffer as a consequence of disregarding his parents' advice. Shortly after, a police officer named Frank approached Michael and revealed the existence of a video capturing Clean's assault on the young troublemakers. The video clearly identified Clean as the one responsible for the incident. Realizing Clean's close connection to Deanda and her grandmother, Michael ordered Frank to eliminate both of them. It became evident that Michael had control over the local police force and manipulated them to serve his own interests. In a gripping turn of events, Clean, aware of the impending danger from Michael's thirst for revenge, sprang into action to safeguard Deanda and her grandmother. They embarked on a daring escape, but their journey was briefly halted when a police car commanded Clean to pull over. In that critical moment, Clean considered surrendering to protect Deanda and her grandmother, only to realize that Michael had orchestrated a treacherous alliance with the police. Thinking on his feet, Clean hit the accelerator and made a swift getaway. After eluding the authorities, Clean sought refuge at a bustling restaurant. Seizing an opportunity while Deanda and her grandmother used the restroom, Clean skillfully broke into one of the parked cars. His plan was to vanish without a trace, leaving both the police and Michael's men perplexed. Unfortunately, fate had other plans. Michael's henchmen spotted Clean's car and swiftly homed in on their location. With Deanda and Ethel well aware of the imminent threat, they desperately sought a safe haven or an alternative escape route. Meanwhile, like a shadow in the night, Clean stealthily infiltrated the scene through the back door. Taking swift and decisive action, he neutralized several of Michael's formidable henchmen. Finally, he discovered Deanda and her grandmother concealed in the sanctuary of a warehouse. Witnessing Clean's audacious and ruthless defense against Michael's men, Deanda and Ethel came face to face with a startling truth. Clean was once a renowned professional assassin. Yet, a tragic loss had driven him to retire from his lethal vocation and seek solace in the solitude of the city. Adopting the guise of a humble garbage man, Clean silently swept away any suspicions about his dark and dangerous past. After making sure Deanda and her grandmother were safe, Clean went back to his home to gather important equipment and all the money he had. Determined and focused, Clean then went to his friend's store and bought the weapons he needed to confront Michael and his henchmen. Meanwhile, at Michael's house, Frank revealed a shocking truth to him. Clean wasn't just an ordinary person. He was a former assassin known as the Angel of Death, famous for being merciless. Shortly after, Michael received a phone call from Clean, who ominously announced that he was coming for him. Recognizing the imminent danger, Michael quickly gathered his men and armed themselves to confront Clean head-on. On the other side, Clean carefully prepared himself for the upcoming clash. He modified different weapons and gathered the necessary gear to ensure he was fully ready. Once everything was set, Clean embarked on his mission, driving a stolen garbage truck towards Michael's residence. Without any warning, Clean crashed the truck straight into Michael's grand mansion. The impact caused a sudden blackout, enveloping the house in darkness. Undeterred by the darkness, Clean swiftly navigated through, effortlessly eliminating Michael's men with precise moves. As Clean began searching for Michael's location, he was caught off guard when Michael emerged unexpectedly from a hidden cupboard. A fierce battle erupted between the two adversaries, but Clean quickly gained the upper hand, overpowering Michael. Just as Clean was about to deliver a decisive blow to Michael, a surprising turn of events unfolded. Mikey, Michael's son, suddenly appeared, wielding a gun and pointing it directly at Clean, creating a dangerous and tense standoff. In a surprising turn of events, Michael's face filled with joy as he thought Mikey would eliminate Clean. But things took a twist when Mikey, instead, shot his own father, killing him. When Mikey aimed the gun at Clean, he ran out of bullets, saving Clean's life in the nick of time. The film concludes with a powerful scene showing Deanda confidently riding her bicycle through the once troubled city streets, now free from delinquents and mafia. She pauses and smiles brightly as she sees Clean's unique garbage truck approaching her. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe Mango Recap for more video like this and help the channel grow.